I always start with tvosj.org, the voice of San Joaquin right here off the Miracle Mile in Stockton, California. Now it is time for St. Mary's Rams ice hockey.
Hey, good evening, everybody. We're running a little bit late. We had some no-show guests, but we're going to get through it. It's going to be a good show tonight. We got Mr. Dominic Bertolino as our guest tonight, our solo guest. We have a little bit of a cold epidemic going through our club, so several kids are out trying to get better for this weekend coming up. We have a rookie learning the board tonight. He is also part of St. Mary's hockey. Tobias Bell, otherwise known as Toby Bell, one of our goaltenders. And he'll be running the board, but he's got a good supervisor, the best supervisor here at the Voice of San Joaquin, Miss Betty Ramirez. So we thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll get right to it and get us off and going. We have some games to talk about. And first of all, I'd like everybody to meet a dear friend of mine, and his parents have been friends of mine for years. You've watched him play since he was a little guy, and he's a little bit bigger than that now. So, Dominic, go ahead and tell people your name, what position you play, and a little bit about your background.
Hi, my name's Dominic Bertolino. I play center forward, and I'm from Stockton, California, and I play for the Colts.
Okay, talk about your how long you played for the Colts, the different teams you played on, and that type of thing.
I played for the Colts around 7 to 8 years, and I played for the Bay Area Blazers over the spring,
right?
The elite team, for around roughly 5 years, and now I'm playing St. Mary's.
Right. Well, tell people why you chose St. Mary's, other than being close. I get that part, but what made you pick St. Mary's versus another schools? We have two other up north that you could have went to.
Yeah. I think it's mostly the coaching and where he's going to get me. Yeah. So he's probably going to take me far in hockey in my career, advance my career. He's a good coach, Coach Eisler, and just I've grown up around him. Just a good man, and brought me up. Yeah.
So now you played Colts as a club hockey, and it's a very good organization, which I was a part of and still am kind of on the background, but we have brought that club to a bigger level than it was. We have a lot of younger kids coming in, the Mighty Might, or what do they call them? Mini Mites.
Mini Mites.
We have like a group of 50 already this year, and it's just been growing every year. Talk to us about those kids and how you were able to be around them and help them.
I really started on, I think it was Sunday morning for the mini pros. It was very nice, and I got involved, just giving back, and I want them to give them a little boost before they start season, and just give them some encouragement to play hockey.
So these are kids like 6 and under or 8 and under, I believe, right?
Yeah, around that.
Yeah, so that's where you have to grow any organization, is from the bottom up. We take pride in doing that as the Colts, and hopefully that we can turn more of those kids into St. Mary's hockey, but at least advance them to future endeavors that they may be seeking.
Yeah.
Now, I know you went to an academy school prior to St. Mary's. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I went to a kind of a prep school for middle school. I went to Ben Holt. It was very good, like organized. They really taught you some life lessons and some like good stuff. So I really appreciate that, and it kind of just brought my knowledge and common sense and life skills. So.
Common sense, you say?
Yes.
Nobody in this day and age has common sense, Dominic. That's a great attribute to you. Yeah. I often tell people I want to teach that class, but there's certainly a need for it.
Yeah.
But that's another subject for another day. So now you're with St. Mary's. Now you've played, like you said, 7, 8 years. You played as a Pee-wee, I believe, right? Was your last year?
No, first year Bantam. I was first year Bantam, and then I played.
So you were around the checking type of hockey, which we play.
Yeah, I was introduced to it.
Okay. So now you've played a few games here for for St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people out there listening to you basically the difference of the game? The game's the same, the rules are the same, but tell them what I'm trying to get you to say. Go ahead.
The pace is a lot different. The competitive edge is out of this world, and the passion that these players have is crazy. Just the love they have for the game. I just like playing against those type of players. The competitive edge and the pace again, it's crazy. And so
now, I heard a story while you guys were on the road back east. You were playing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
At the Schwann Super Center.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's the first time you were there, huh?
Out of this world. It was so big.
Tell the people about. I have told them past shows about that, but tell us when you pulled up there, because I know how I felt when I pulled up there. Tell them about it.
It was amazing to see. It was 8 rinks, I believe, 7 rinks. It was crazy. It was a sight to see for sure. There was people everywhere. There was people everywhere watching just your games, and it was just kind of crazy to see that there was that many lovers for hockey back there, back east.
Yeah, we just had one of our guests that just showed up. One of our goaltenders, Sean Keogh. Pull that mic up to you, the blue mic. That'd be the mic, okay. Sean. It's not a puck; it's a mic. Okay, buddy. Right. It won't hit you. I'm going to slow this down and get back to Sean because I want you to explain, obviously, say your name. We just heard you were a goaltender, and then how many years you played hockey and that type of thing. Give us a little bit about your background.
My name's Sean Keogh. I'm a goalie for St. Mary's, and I've been playing hockey now for 10 years. I started out as a player for the first 3 years, and I changed to goalie my Pee-wee year. And actually, my first season was with the Tahoe Grizzlies as a goalie because the Stockton Colts organization, the first year that I was a goalie, did not have a Bantam or a Pee-wee team.
So the Colts have improved there. Now we have those teams.
Yeah.
But what brought you to St. Mary's, Sean? Tell people.
I've went to St. Mary's as my freshman year because my older brother did. And luckily, my junior year of hockey came to St. Mary's. And I saw an opportunity in front of me, and I took it.
Now, you were on the team last year. Tell us your thoughts about the team from last year versus this year. Where do you think you guys are from that year to this year?
I think we're a lot more connected as a team this year. We definitely had a couple of ups and downs last year, and I feel like we're a lot better this year. We have a lot better group that just connects a lot more with each other.
Yeah, I think so too. Just going to the practices that I go to, it does look like a more gel team. Obviously, there's things that we can do to improve where we're at, but you've been an integral part because it fell upon you last year to be the number one goaltender. I got to tell you, from an outsider standpoint in the hockey, Sean's really done a good job in the off season getting in shape. He's lost a lot of. How much weight did you lose?
I've lost about 30 pounds.
Yeah, and it's made a big difference. I think you probably feel the difference too, right?
I do. On the ice, I definitely do.
Yeah. So we just came off the weekend. Roy did our show. I was gone on vacation, but you got to be part of an 11-0. You got the shutout in that game, correct?
Yeah.
But tell people about that. I mean, obviously the shot disparity was a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I think I remember we had maybe like 41 shots and 10, and people say, oh, you only did 10 shots. But it takes a lot of effort. I mean, all it takes is one shot. And Tobias, you're on it. You can talk on this. The next game we played, and I'm not picking on Toby, but he took one shot and it got by him, and he's still upset. We were talking about it prior to coming on the show. Talk to us a little bit about how that worked.
It was the first shot of the game, and I felt ready. I had prepared. I felt ready, and I tried to punch it in the corner, and I jumped on it a little bit, and it went in between my blocker and my body. And I bounced back. I recovered, but it wasn't a good way to start my game.
And so that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know, Sean did a good job. He blocked 10. But how do you stay focused in the game? Because I watched that game via Black Dog TV, and the play was in their end 80% of the time,
Yeah.
from what I remember. So how do you stay focused as a goaltender? Because the play's all opposite side of the ice from where you're at. You're looking at it, but how do you stay to where you're not like, oh, I'm yawning and that type of thing?
I personally stay focused by moving in the net. I do like drills myself in the net just to stay sharp during the game and to make sure that I'm warm throughout the game.
Yeah. I'm going to ask both of you. I'm going to let Sean answer, and I'm going to ask Toby. We haven't forgot you.
Yeah.
Just stay in there good looking, okay? Stay good looking. I don't know if I want to ask this question because if anybody's listening that we're playing, it won't be good. Where do you feel that your improvement needs to come in? Because you're both pretty big goaltenders in the net. How do you? What is your goal? Obviously, to block the puck. I get that part, but when you see a player coming down on you, let's ask this question. And it might be a 2-on-1. You have one defenseman in front of you. What do you want him to take the puck or take the off guy, and you'll handle the puck?
Definitely take the off guy because a pass across the ice is definitely a lot harder to shot because you have to move from one spot to the other and then taking just a square-on shot to where already square with the puck.
Right. What about you, Toby?
I always yell at my defensemen to make sure they're taking the pass. I always tell them I got the shot, and then if they take the pass, I can read the shooter. If he's like a lefty coming down the left side, I know that he's got to bring his stick all the way around to pass it, and like I can if he takes the pass, I can read it a lot better. Whereas if he takes the shot, I got to do a lot more just reacting, and it just makes my life a lot easier when the defenseman takes the pass.
Now, it's hard because we don't have a lot of film at our level. I mean, in the ECHL and the AHL and those, and probably even in juniors, they do a lot of film, so you can look at a lot of players. Is there something, if you're getting a shot that, say the guy's got a breakaway, let's just use that because you're not going to have other things to worry about. The guy's got a breakaway. What part of your body tells you, or I know your eyes do, but when that guy's going to release that shot? I'll go to you first, Sean.
The blade. If their blade's closed, they're more likely going to start stick handling it. But if their blade's open, more likely than not, they're about to shoot the puck.
Let's go. What do you say?
I'd say a lot of it's in the blade. You can also tell where, like if the guy's starting to open up his whole body a little, you can tell he's trying to maybe shoot it. Whereas if he kind of looks in tighter, he's still got his entire body facing you. You know, he's trying to pick whether he's going to go right or left. So there's a few different ways that you can look at it and try to tell what the guy's doing. But I think it's mostly just over time playing the game for so long, you start to kind of notice little cues, like not even realizing it. You just start to pick up on cues when you think the shooter's going to shoot or make a move or pass it if it wasn't a breakaway or whatever the situation.
Now, I talked to a ECHL goaltender several years ago, and I said, what's the difference between ECHL and the NHL? And he puts his fingers up, and he goes, about that much. In other words, those guys at the higher levels can put a puck that much. They can control the puck and where it goes more than at his level. And he says the game obviously is faster, but angles is a big thing in your situation. Dominic is looking at the ice and seeing where to pass the puck or who might become available for the puck, or he takes it himself. So he's thinking a different way. But when you guys come down, they come down. In front of you, do you know, okay, I got to be here, or I got to move here, or how does that work?
It's based off of kind of instinct now since we've been training for a while. It's kind of you just get a feeling for where you're at in your net, and wherever that player is at, you kind of got to square up. And we use kind of points on the ice, like the blue line on the wall as an angle, the dot as an angle.
Yeah, is it the same for you, Joe?
Yeah, I use a lot of a lot of times I find like a spot in the rink that's center with the net. Every chance I get, I back myself into like the middle bar in the net to make sure I'm centered, and then because if I'm centered in my net, I know I can push out to the right spot. But if I'm not centered, then I don't really know where I am. So a lot of it's just if you start center in the net, I can get myself where I need to be. So it's just about knowing where you are to start.
And how about your defensemen, both of you? I'm going to ask the question too. Obviously you want them clear to the wall. You don't want anything in front of you. I noticed Toby, and you're all different. Every goaltender's different. I mean, a lot of basics are the same, but you're more into crease goaltender, Sean, in my opinion. I mean, I'm an expert for any means, and Toby like goes out and challenges them further out, but that's what works for him. But I guess you're just successful which way you do it. But now, your whole goal is to block the first shot, right? And then your defense better clear it out of the way. Hopefully you don't give up a big, juicy rebound, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do? We've all seen it where, the goaltender misplaces his blade in the front, and the puck comes in, and the blade's open. I would imagine it goes over his shoulder because the puck comes off his blade. And I'm sure that's happened to both of you at some point in your goalie careers, right? So talk to the people about that. I mean, how it's not easy. The shot now is coming at you probably 45, 50 mile an hour or more.
It's faster than that now.
A lot faster than that.
It's the hardest ones are in the 70s. Most of them I'd say are 60s.
Like a Hunter slap shot, he gets up there.
Yeah.
He's got a really hard shot.
Yeah. And I know the other day, Boris, who's not with us tonight, the other goaltender, took one off the shoulder.
Oh, that was Bobby. Bobby's got a hard shot.
Yeah, Bobby's got a really hard shot.
Yeah. Anthony, no, right? Weak shot.
Oh, Anthony's shots, like... and you'd probably be right with the 40s and 50s when you're talking about Anthony.
I like it. Friendly fire. Anyhow, let's get back to Dominic a little bit here. And I didn't mean that. It's sarcastic, okay? You laughed because I said little bit. Okay. I got to shut that phone off. Anyhow, how do you see the game now? I know it's faster for you, but you're a centerman.
Yeah.
Tell the folks what a centerman does versus what a forward does, or obviously a defenseman is a whole different position.
I guess the center, you can call it kind of like an intermediate between a defenseman and a forward. We help out defensively, we help out offensively. It's kind of just like in the middle of a winger and a defenseman, I guess.
And I see coaches really working on positioning. In other words,
stick positioning.
Cutting off lanes of ice for the puck. When you were in younger leagues, or when you were younger and you played in those leagues, if you ever watched beginning hockey, it's like a group that just travels around, right?
Yeah, follows.
They all go together. Everybody goes together. And the older you get, you realize you just...
Space.
Yeah, the space. And that's... talk to us about that a little bit.
I've gotten harped on a little bit for space and the time difference. You have to be a lot quicker with the puck. And when you're playing on a defensive side or a defensive angle, you kind of have to picture where you would be if you were on offense so you could defend that spot. So it's kind of just based on where that player's looking, what that player's about to do with the puck. You kind of have to, a little bit prediction, but also reaction is a big thing. So.
And for you guys, you goaltenders, I mean, you were in the Anaheim Duck League, which is in Southern California, obviously. And then we play in the NAPHL, which is back in Minnesota predominantly. I know we got a trip to Detroit again this year. I believe we do.
Ken?
Apparently Sean didn't know about it.
I did not.
I understand that's what's happening, but what's the difference of those two leagues, NAPHL, and I'll get an answer from all of you because Dom's played this year. But go ahead, Sean. You start.
I feel like the NAPHL is definitely a decent amount faster. Like players just in general faster and making smarter plays and quicker plays with the puck.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of keep up and pay attention and focus a lot more on the NAPHL. And I feel like that's just because it takes all the teams from like pretty much around the U.S.
Yeah.
Because we just played a team in the NAPHL from Florida, too, who's a pretty fast team. So
You just got to be prepared for that. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
long travel for you guys to get there. A lot of those teams, you just said Florida, but a lot of those teams come from that area.
Yeah.
Not so much Minnesota, but they're outlining states. So, and they play. Those kids have been playing since they were
Yeah.
4 or 5, most of them, and they're big kids. I think they're a little bit bigger physically and older
yeah.
than the Duck League. In other words, Duck Leagues, they have a turnover at the end of the year, the seniors, but we're not talking about 1 or 2. We're talking maybe 5 or 6. However, they got people to replace them because they got 2 or 3 teams. Each team has that,
Yeah.
so they move kids up. NAPHL, at that level, they're probably going, what do you say, Toby, the juniors maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
prospect league, so all the players in that league are trying to go to the next level. I think one of the biggest differences, like, you're not going to see any 11-0 blowouts in the NAP. Every team is
Yeah.
good. Where I think there's a lot of disparity in the Anaheim Duck League, where there's a lot of good teams and bad teams.
Yeah. And Dominic, this is your first year.
Yeah.
Toby's been around the game, obviously, because he's older,
Yeah.
around the game more. But you played in both leagues. Tell me what you feel the difference is.
Between the Anaheim and
Yes.
the Anaheim is more of a it's like, don't get me wrong, it's a competitive league, but those kids are gonna advance, but they're not gonna advance as much as the NAPHL, those teams.
And I noticed this year, and all three of you can answer this question too. I noticed this year with the rule change, as far as checking is concerned, we kind of figured it out after our first game, but you have to play the puck before you take the body. So there's no more open ice hits.
Unless you're Bobby.
Well, yeah, yeah, right. It still does happen, but it's a penalty now. So you see a quicker game, because if you're taking a lot of hits, you become tentative in what you're doing, which slows the game down. But tell us how it is for you guys. Has it changed anything for you? I know, Dominic, you're one of the smallest guys out there.
Yeah.
And, but I got to tell you, folks, you come out and watch Dominic play, he plays like he's 6'2". He doesn't understand how tall are you, Dom?
Barely 5 foot, I would say. Barely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you weigh, what, about 75 pounds?
More around like 90, 95.
Ooh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That pizza, you just
Yeah,
weighed.
pizza. Yeah,
Pizza.
I'm not on right now.
But
No.
I heard something from Minnesota. Did somebody from the other team come up to you in the prayer?
Oh,
circle?
yeah.
Tell the people. So let me set the stage for you. After the game, because we're a religious school, and we even if we don't play a religious school, we do a prayer at the end of each game at center ice. This team happened. I don't know what team it was, but it was a Northern Christian, or do you remember the name of the team? Either one of you?
Yeah, no.
No.
It was the Florida team. It was the Florida team.
Was it the Florida team?
Yeah.
IHA wasn't religious. Regis was a Catholic school.
Oh, it might have been Regis
I
then.
think
Yeah.
it was Regis.
So both teams get together, they all hug, hold arms, and then have a prayer. But just before the prayer, tell me what happened to you.
These two guys from their team, they were kind of I guess I wouldn't say freaked out, but they were kind of just curious about what I was doing in this league, and they were just wow, how old are you? And I was oh, I'm just a freshman, I'm 14, and they were wow, I thought you were 8. I was whoa, yeah, I was whoa.
But you know something? You don't play like you're 8 or you're undersized. The kid will go against guys, and you look at him, and sometimes they don't realize he's there because he can get in and out off the boards, and it's kind of interesting to watch him play.
Yeah, it happened again down south, and
Really?
a kid after we played what was the team? The Coyote. What was that team?
Capistrano?
Yeah,
Capistrano.
Capistrano. We played them, and then after the game, after the prayer, a kid came up to me, and he was a senior apparently, and he was like, "You're a freshman?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Don't worry about growing. You're gonna grow soon. I'm a senior." And he was like, "I was shorter than you when I was a freshman." And I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "Wow."
So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
you know, use it to your advantage, man.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? I know everybody on the team won't let anybody take a run at you.
No,
What
they're
that
all
means
they're all
is
very protective.
yeah, they're all very protective. So it's good. It's good. So it just tells you hockey can be from a 5-foot guy to a 6'8" guy.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's-
make a difference.
It's crazy.
But if you have the smarts, and this is another thing, I've talked about it again on prior shows, so those who have listened to this, you can take a quick break. But this is the only sport out there. You can name every sport out there, baseball, football, basketball, whatever. First of all, you guys got to skate. That's a big thing, just the balance.
Just
And
yeah,
at the speed of the game it is now. That's one thing, just by itself. Then you got to get a puck, and you got to make sure that puck don't come off your stick until you want it to come off the stick, and then you got to make the right play.
yes.
Where in football, they all huddle and they say, "Okay, this is the play we're going to run," and we do it. Then there's a break.
It's always
and then
changing.
You come back,
Yep.
and then you do it again, or whatever it is. Baseball, you got 2 hours between the pitches, not quite, but it seems like it.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And the coaches can direct, hey, I want you to move over to the shortstop or move the second baseman or the outfielder. They tell the pitcher what pitch to throw.
Yeah.
So it's all done. Now, they're very good athletes. I don't
Yeah,
take anything
yeah.
away from them, but their thought process and the mechanics, it's
Some-
hard to learn that. Man.
Yes.
It really is. I mean, I marvel, even though you sit back and look, I can't skate. Nobody would want me out there skating, but it's like, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you guys are 14, 15, 16-year-olds. We got a couple 18s.
I'm 18 in March.
You are?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't have any facial hair yet, Sean.
I got
gotta
peach.
work-
I
you
got
gotta work
peach
on
fuzz
that,
growing
babe.
in.
You got to work. This is November. You're supposed to grow the beards. But anyhow, so from that standpoint, I mean, you guys have done, like I said, pretty well. We went down to Anaheim. We played in Anaheim, the old rink, but they said they redid the boards. Did you guys notice that or at all? It was brand new boards and new ice. They said.
It was pretty. The boards are pretty poppy, so I mean, I could see that, but I didn't really notice it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a big.
You played in that rink. Before,
Yeah, I played. Yeah, I
with
played
the
there last.
Blazers.
Last year and the year before.
You know, talk to us about the new great. What is it?
Great Park, right?
Great Park.
Yeah, Great
I
Park.
mean, I'd never played down there before, but it's really good ice, and the boards pop a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good rink.
What do you think, Sean? This is
I think it's a really nice rink. I have a feeling that the better rink 4, which I feel like they're gonna make that a college rink.
Yeah.
yeah, for the
probably.
local colleges.
Junior-
Yeah.
juniors.
Like
Yeah.
USC and UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have club teams. They're not D1 teams.
They also, I think they have roller hockey too as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, no, that's what I was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. A kid that used to play here for the Thunder does a lot. In fact, he's one of the coaches for the Trojans, USC. Tyler Maxwell. He was a center for the old Thunder team here, and he went to Alaska for a while. But now he's married and got a couple kids, and he's down there coaching. So a lot of things can happen, even if you stop playing. If you want to stay in hockey, is a good field for you. Now, let's talk about this weekend. We got a back-to-back games with the same team, the Tahoe Academy, and we're up there Saturday at 1 o'clock, and then we have the return visit here on Sunday at 5:20 at Oak Park. Everybody that's listening, we want to come out and watch these talented gentlemen. They're not kids; they're kids to me because of age, but they're certainly young men. Go out there and face an opponent that I guess we split last year with them. I think we were 1-1 if I recall.
Right now we're 1-1.
Or
Yes.
maybe not. Maybe they beat us more. I'm talking about the
I
two.
think we were 1-2 with them
One
last
against
year.
two. Yeah, that might be right. But it's going to be a great weekend for these young men to see where they've come from last year. We got Tahoe, and then the following week we're in Anaheim again, I believe, playing Santa Margarita again.
I think so. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, and that was the national champs last year.
Yeah.
We lost to them. That was our first loss, down there this year.
That
But
had the whole bus ride with it, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
our nice 12-hour bus ride down.
Yeah, 12-hour bus ride, folks. They left here at 7. Their game was at 7:30. They got the rink at 7. They held the game for 10 minutes so these guys could get dressed and at least get a little
It's crazy.
bit of ice time before the game. And then they went out and they got beat by a better team at that point because I don't care who you are. You're in a van for 12 hours. That's a long time, man.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a long time to get your stuff back together. But the next morning they came out and they won handily.
Yeah.
Against another good team. I mean, so again, this weekend at Oak Park, they'll be raring to go. Support your home team. Let them come out and watch what these guys are all about, and watch the coaching staff. They're currently, I have the stats here. They're currently out of 10 teams in the varsity division of the Anaheim Duck League. They are currently 4th place. So good for you. Continued success. So we're going to have a good time. We got some fundraiser stuff coming up. On the 14th of December, there's going to be a pancake breakfast at the school. Come out and support your team, buy some tickets, and the money goes to the hockey team. So that's good stuff. We're going to have our ball drop 2nd annual dinner. You were part of that last year. We're going to have that on January 11th at the school. We'll keep you posted as to what's going on there. So those are things that are coming up, and we will have a golf tournament in March for these young men. And Ginger's doing a great job, our team manager. I call her, she is a mother. So a lot of good things coming. We've come a long way from where we were last year. So come out and support this team. We're only getting better as we go. I want to get back on the school thing a little bit with you, Dominic.
Yeah.
Tell us how is it different, and for you to do work here and classes. That other school that you went to, Ben Holt, did they have the same classes every day, or did you have? I guess it's called a block schedule. I don't know. We went to the same. When I went to school, we went to the same two chairs in each classroom. But anyhow, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. So at my middle school, I only had 4 classes a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was kind of good, but it was tiring. We stayed in the classroom for an hour and 30 minutes. It was just like draining. So I like St. Mary's schedules a lot better, in my personal opinion. So.
Yeah. But how are you getting your work done?
Oh, I think the teachers are kind of respectful about your time, and if you do athletics, they're especially respectful about your time. I think it's pretty easy on the road. We have a good study hall teacher.
And who might that be? Go ahead and tell us her name.
Wendy Petroni.
Wendy Petroni. That's Sniffle's mother. I mean, Luca Petroni.
Luca, yeah.
Sorry, Sniffs. I got you there. But, yeah, she's a great person.
Yeah,
she's good lady, very intelligent.
Yeah.
So, now I know we've developed study halls at school for you folks because you're going all day long with either school or hockey. Is that helpful? I'm going to ask you, Sean. Has it been helpful to you?
Yeah, I think it's very helpful because when I get home, I definitely do not feel like doing homework.
Yeah.
After a long day of school and training at practices, especially the drylands now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have really hard drylands. So I
Tell the people what a typical dryland is.
Mondays is always cardio day with Coach Derek. It's
Yeah.
always sprints,
Ladders.
jumps, agility, all that. And Tuesday is with Coach Zach. This Tuesday was by far, I feel like, the hardest.
Oh yeah.
Dryland
It
we
wasn't.
have.
It wasn't really a weight. Yeah. It wasn't really weights, but it was.
I
Yeah.
heard you say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a hard
Yeah.
day. I felt
It's
my
crazy.
legs after that one.
Yeah.
And that was definitely hard. It wasn't even like, there was no weights. It was just our
It's-
own body weight.
Yeah. You just kept on going after and after and after. You never stopped.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
For a half hour.
Yeah.
It
For
was-
a half hour, it was
Your
crazy.
breaks was a run.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the
That was
break.
your break.
So you were running, you were jogging at that point.
Yeah.
Pretty
Basically.
fast. you've come a long way, Sean. I got to tell you. If you wanted to see who was last year, it was you, Mr. Keogh. But you've made big improvements, and good for you. I'm proud of you, man, because it's tough. It's not easy.
No, it was not.
Not easy at all, and keeping the attitudes going, and it's all fun and games. So we do have issues with some of the scholastic end of it. We got to band together as brothers. I mean, as a team, and help the guys, because most of the guys that got issues this year or whatever have gotten behind the 8 ball. I know Anthony did beginning of last season. He wasn't used to the split things, but he figured it out later in the year and we got through it. But last year we didn't have study halls. We didn't have certain things that we have today. So I urge you and the people out there to help. It's easy. We razz everybody. We tease. We have that's team chemistry. So that things happen, but you need to band together as brothers and help these guys. Somebody, you may know math better than Toby, or you may know English better than me, or whatever. Help these guys. They're struggling, and I don't even know if they tell you guys, hey man, I'm lost. I'm lost in my English class, or I'm lost in my media class. That would be you, Toby. Lost in the media class.
Never.
Anyhow, but try to help these guys. Be a big brother to them, or a little brother, or whatever it is. Or be a friend and say, hey man, reach out to these guys. I know a couple of the kids are really struggling. And then they don't go to school because they're trying to catch up, and that's just not at this stage of the game. It's early still. We still got a lot of school left in front of us, a lot of seasons. So it's important that these young men who are struggling or just haven't figured it out yet, if it's a learning thing, that's one thing. But if it's laziness, you got to kick them in the rear end because it's. The parents are paying good money. Just forget about the hockey end, just the scholastic end. And if you're not taking it serious or whatever, you're missing out, man. Because it's a good school. The academics are good there. And we need to take advantage. And I think that's true with all the sports. I mean, I'm sure we're not the only ones that have a few kids that are struggling. But, again, the only one in this room that's a billet young man is Toby. You live here in Stockton, Sean, and you live in Stockton as well. So you're in your own environment now.
Yeah.
You take a guy. Now let's talk about that a little bit, Mr. Bell. Talk to us now. And I'm not. We talked about your first time here, and you went home, and talk to us about through that. You don't have to go into exact detail, but talk to us about your mindset when you came here. What. You had nothing. You had no idea what to expect, right?
Yeah, no, I knew I was going to come here and play hockey, and that's about all I knew.
Yeah, so you come here, you're put in a house with, at that time, I think it was 2 other kids, boys.
It was me, Anthony, Boris, and Sharpie.
Sharpie.
So that was our house at the time. We've had Victor since. But
Yeah.
at the beginning, it was just me, Sharpie.
So you come, and for those who don't know, Toby is from Buffalo, New York. So he comes in. Put yourself, he's 16, but it doesn't matter how old you are. Think about moving away from your family, and you're across the other side of the country, basically. I know Buffalo's more west than the rest of New York. However, you're a long way from home. Yeah, we talk on the phone, and that type of thing, but talk to me how you felt. I mean, and I know you live with my daughter, so I don't hold that against you. But talk to me about what your inner self was. I mean, you wake up, you're in a strange house, and you're playing hockey at St. Mary's. I mean, were you lonely? That type of thing.
It was definitely a little lonely at first. I think I kind of went into it with the mindset of I'm only going to be here 1 year, and this is a temporary thing. And that just kind of screwed up everything. Like, I already had the thought of leaving before I even got there, and so then when I got there, I had a bad mentality, and I ended up, of course, hating it because that's what happens when you go into things with bad mentalities. But once I came back, I had more of a, all right, I got to make the most of this now. I'm here for at least the near future. So I gotta put my front foot forward. And ever since then, once I got my mental state better, I think this experience has been way better, and I'm glad I came back.
Yeah, I mean, and even for you guys that are here and in your own homes and stuff, but it's a lot. Give it. I'll have Dominic, because you're a veteran, you've been around, but to give us a typical day, and Wednesday's an exceptional day, but give us a day like on Monday, how it starts, where it ends, and then that type of thing.
So I roughly wake up around, I would say 6 to get up. We have study hall in the morning at 7 o'clock, so I like to get ready a little bit early. Study hall ends around 8. School starts around 8:15. Right after school, 2:30, we go straight to the rink. We're there for about, I would say, roughly 3 hours, including like dress time, undress time, workout, and then we go home. But
then you got to eat dinner.
Yeah, it's a packed day, and then homework too if you have any homework.
Homework. I mean, so your day
day
starts at that day. That's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule.
Yes.
So that's a full day, man.
Yeah, we don't get home until around, I would say probably 7 or 6:30 at the maybe earliest and latest.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's the average.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
6:15, 6:30.
yeah, so I don't, yeah, what Toby said, and then
Then homework.
Homework, yeah, usually homework roughly takes, if I have a decent amount, it roughly takes until 8 or 9, and then shower,
Shower,
everything, shower,
I mean-
I
everything,
feel bad
eat.
for all the kids that have Mr. Scott.
Yeah. Oh, don't.
Yeah, don't.
Be careful.
Yeah.
about-
No,
Yeah.
and Mr. Scott's a great teacher. He just assigns a lot of
A lot of homework.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
him sophomore year, and he retired for 1 year,
Yeah.
and came back this year.
So he's got all the same homework.
Yeah, he same homework. He assigns a section of reading a night, which is normally 10 to 15 pages, and you
Wow.
have to take notes on that and then study for the quiz the next day on the exact same section.
Wow.
It's a lot.
So you people out there that these young men are doing, and some of them not in their own environment, that's a big commitment. And then the only difference is on Wednesday, Friday, is you have to be
Yeah.
in the rink at 6
Yeah,
a.m.
we have to be there,
Up
and
at 5.
doors
Yeah.
lock after 6.
So you got to be there. Your day starts. It ends a little bit earlier than couple
we
hours,
still have
maybe.
we still have study hall after school on Wednesdays and Fridays.
So you're
or
out of
just
school.
just
Well,
Wednesdays.
Fridays
Yeah,
we're done
just-
at 1:30.
yeah,
Fridays
Fridays
are
are
the
a
early
blessing.
days.
Yeah,
But a lot of
Unless
times
you're on
I'm-
the road
yeah.
for 12
Unless we're
hours.
Yeah,
Road.
true.
Yeah.
12
Road,
hours
yeah.
in the van.
Yeah, a lot of Fridays are followed by a van ride that
Eh.
takes us to 9.
And this, in this November, you guys are playing it almost every weekend. I think your only weekend off is
Thanksgiving.
Is
It's the only
Thanksgiving
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
still got to
There's only,
form a few more in a row.
And everybody goes back home. You going back home on Thanksgiving too?
Yeah, I'll go back home Wednesday to Sunday, something like that, like almost a week.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. I mean, Thanksgiving time is family time, so everybody gets to go home. We're not playing hockey. We're becoming a family again with your own immediate family. So it's all good stuff. But folks, if you're listening to this is amazing for these kids to be doing what they do. And our program, I say ours, St. Mary's hockey program, starts in September.
We had our first. We had like our first team practice, a team like captain
week- the
practice
week
in
after-
September. I
yeah.
think it was like the first
It was the-
week or two of September. We had our first
Right.
practice. Like,
And you run till almost the end of March, if not the end of March.
no,
March.
we
Yeah.
went till May last year with practices.
Yeah,
I think that's when we're gonna go to this year too. We end our games I think a little later now
Yeah.
because
Right, I think
another
he
team.
added some
Another
games.
team asked if they could play us, so we're probably gonna end up playing
Yeah,
more.
some scrimmages.
Yeah.
Some scrimmages in April.
So these kids are in for the whole school year because school gets out typically first part of June or the end of May.
Yeah.
So their whole season, this is unusual for most sports because football has their season. In fact, they're coming into playoffs now, so they'll be done probably by the end of this month, maybe in the first week or so in December, and then they're done until next year. Where ours goes through the whole, pretty much the
constant.
whole semester or season, whichever way to call it.
Yeah.
So it's different, and so these kids don't only have to be dedicated to school, but to hockey, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Just talking about it, I'm tired. I mean, it's one of those things that you got to get behind these boys and the talent that they have, and they're coached, not only coached in hockey, but we try to coach you in life, right? Life skills, because we had this talk on the way over to the rink, right, Tobe? We had this talk coming over to the rink. Whatever you do, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, molds you into the person that you are at my age.
Yeah.
And I still learn. I mean, I don't do everything perfect. I mean, you'd be crazy to say that. I mean, but all the experiences you have, the heartbreaks, the good moments, all that stuff is who you are. That's who your parents are. I mean, the way they act, the way they handle themselves is because of the environment that they were raised in, plus what they've found out in the real world, because it's tough out there. It's not easy, and it's getting tougher. I mean, I'll be long gone by the time you guys are my age, but it'll be interesting to see what transpires. I mean, I've always been around older people, and I'm old now, but they're still older than I am, and so it's good to listen to people's life stories, and all of us are here to help, man. You just got to reach out, and sometimes you don't want to reach out for whatever reasons, you're embarrassed or whatever, but ask people that are around you that you feel confident in that is going to really try to help you, man, because that's all we're here to do. We learn what we learn from school and our experiences. So it's how your life will be, you know. And some of these relationships that we have now in hockey, you'll know these people.
Yeah,
I mean, you're with
life.
them every day. They'll go on to other teams or get out of hockey or whatever they do, but you always have a bond, whatever the bond might be. You'll see them in your 20s and go, oh yeah, I played with you at St. Mary's, or I played with the Colts or Tahoe or wherever it is, you know. So they're giving us the wrap-up sign here. Mr. Toby Bell's giving me the wrap sign. I'm not liking you on the board anymore because we got to stop talking. But I think you've heard enough tonight. I hope we brought you a informational part of St. Mary's hockey, which we try to bring you each and every time we're on the air. I want to say to everybody, thank you for coming. Toby, I hope Betty doesn't have to babysit you too much more. I hope you figured it out on the board.
Yeah, it should be good for next time.
Oh, yeah. Well, the next time is next Wednesday when we do the car show, the Chase Chevrolet car show. So you're going to come and do that. Probably won't have much to say, but you know how you are. You'll figure it out, man.
I'll find a way to put in my 2 cents.
Right. So our next hockey show will be on November 21st. My plan, listen up. I know one of the mothers is listening because your son's sitting next to me. I would like the billet mothers, not all of them, but 3 or 4, come in and we'll do a show about how it feels to have bad enough to have your own children in your house at this age because they know more than we do, but to have other people's kids that you're responsible for in your house. And I think that's going to be a good show. I really do. I look forward to that. You guys have any final words of wisdom? Mr. Tobias, you have anything to say?
Looking forward to a good weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Go Rams. How about you, Sean?
No, thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you. How about you, Mr. Bertolino?
Same, just ready for this weekend, preparing.
All right, guys. So until we meet again, my favorite sign-off, my only sign-off I have is keep your skates on the ice and reach for your dreams. Good night, everybody.